fourth edition of Nordic Data Science and Machine Learning Summit here in Stockholm. So before we go on, can you please tell us a bit more about yourself and your background?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. So yes, I have worked in telco and IT for, it is nearly 20 years. Makes me feel very old. But yes, I've been working for Hutchison Whampoa and Microsoft and now Telia. So big companies, always in kind of emerging businesses, finding new solutions based on new technology. Been in the analytics space for about 2 years now at Telia. Working for Telia's Division X as head of new products at our data insights division.
We are entering the AI industrialization decade, as you know, and several ethical questions arise. And also, the main theme of today is towards human-centered data and AI innovation. And you yourself delivered a keynote on the topic AI in the real world, combining the best of tech with the best of humanity. Can you tell us a bit more on this, please?
Absolutely. It was a real pleasure. Super fun to be here. Well, I talked a little bit about AI today. What applications do we see? What people, countries around the world are doing. We talked a bit about China and how they're very at the very, very front end of AI deployment and facial recognition applications. We talked about also how you apply AI is actually just as important as the AI technology in itself.
Right.
And then also we talked a little bit about how us at Telia, how we look at AI deployment and our AI strategy.
When you already mentioned how Telia is working with AI development, can you tell us a bit more about that?
Absolutely. So in terms of our AI strategy, we actually started out with creating principles around AI ethics. We think it's very important to demystify AI. Right now it's this black box that not many people know much about. So we want to make sure that we're transparent and explain our solutions to the best of our ability. We think that AI deployment and AI development it's not a checklist that you check your solution at the end. It's a process that you need to revisit during your creation of the algorithms. We also use what we call the Black Mirror approach from the British TV series. Where actually we look at the worst case scenario of an application. What would actually this solution, what is the worst that could happen if we put it in market? Would it discriminate an individual? Could it be misused for political gain? Those kind of questions we constantly tell us during the development to make sure that they don't happen.
Let's make sure, hopefully, they won't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So with the advancement and widespread adoption of AI, the number of regulations and policies is growing. Do they actually present guidelines or hurdles for companies that are in the process towards AI-driven business?
So I actually think that we as big companies have a lot of responsibility in this space. In terms of the regulations that we have, there will be more, and we have still lots of pitfalls that you can have in AI deployment that you didn't really think about. There's lots of big mistakes that have been made, some with devastating consequences, because you haven't been careful enough around your pitfalls. And for example, in my speech as well, we talked about bias. We talked about bias of the data that you train your model with, but also bias of the creator. What is actually the end result of something that you actually, when you have transferred bias onto your model? We have, the big giants in this space today, the one that's come the furthest, we have the Microsoft and the Google and Facebook and Amazon. They're actually focusing quite a lot now on how do we try and remove discrimination, how do we remove bias in our AI algorithms.
When we talk about good and bad, what is actually good outcome when it comes to algorithms?
So this is a good question because since now my work in analytics, we have always the data can tell us so many answers, and we're very proud of those answers. But sometimes you actually wonder what is the question. So I think a good outcome from an algorithm is when you really have spoken to your users, who's going to be using whatever solution that you're providing, and are you answering their needs? Is this the outcome of the algorithm? Is it what it's supposed to be? You should always go back to your users to make sure that your algorithms are used for what they're supposed to be.
Yeah, great. So we mentioned ethics before, and who actually decides what's ethical for an AI to do, and who is responsible if AI does something considered unethical?
This is a super interesting topic as well. And I mean, us at Telia, we want to be transparent, but we also want to be fully accountable for the AI
Right.
solutions that we put in market and that we use internally. We think it's very important that you take account for what you do. Of course, it's the one that develops the AI solution. They are the ones responsible for the outcomes. I think again we use our principles to also have this staged approach where you look during the development of the algorithm to make sure that you actually do not fall into pitfalls which makes this accountability really, really important. We want to be proud of what we serve through our solutions.
So, Ellen, one last question. Looking at the state of ethics and trustworthiness today, where do you see things moving in the next 1 to 2 years? And are we ready to let machines work in an unsupervised way?
So the quick question would be no. We're not ready just yet to let machines work in an unsupervised way. But I think within 1 to 2 years, we have moved a lot further in terms of technology, in terms of how we actually make sure that we have less bias and we have less discrimination in AI models. But I also think that in what we actually can't do with technology today, we have the human skills, as in be able to apply and use emotion, apply context to problems. Those kind of skill sets are what we actually will give us humans today and tomorrow the edge over the robots. So I would say that even though robots will do loads and loads of things within the upcoming years, we will always be there needed to steer them and to guide them.
So thank you, Ellen, for being part of Nordic Data Science and Machine Learning Summit today, and thank you for doing this interview with me.
Thank you so much, Ivana.
It's a pleasure.